Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, right here on the YouTube and the Twitch this evening, and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide. To my left, your right, Mr. Front Row Bill joining us tonight. How you doing, sir?
Doing good, J-Bone. It's a Tuesday, so I guess I got to say the NXTNI fam doing tonight.
Oh, man. Hopefully everyone's doing good. I'm doing good. Big match, big show tonight, but we're not going to cover. We're not here for the whole thing. We're here
big
for
shoe.
Very big show. We're here for just only certain parts of it, but that's what we do here on Tuesday nights. We cover the NXT/TNA of the TNA coverage, like we do here on this channel. We're getting a few chatters in here, getting a few viewers in here. Before we get things started, folks, you know what to do. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. So Bill, are you enjoying these episodes of NXT as we're kind of becoming more familiar with certain individuals?
I am. I'm always one that likes to expand my wrestling horizon when I can.
There you go.
Obviously, there's a lot out there. I partake in quite a bit. Obviously, TNA the most, but I do try to get involved in some other stuff. But there is a lot out there. So seeing the TNA relationship gives a lot of us TNA fans a reason to check in to NXT maybe more than we may have previously. Although I did like what I saw from the product here and there over the last few years since the rebrand, like the 2.0 and beyond, like a lot of developmental, like that was the method they were going to go to, which I thought was, so I knew some guys I saw on indie started getting opportunities there, or some names started showing up like, oh, that's interesting. Check that out. Like when you would have like people like the Good Brothers show up down there, like, oh, maybe check out that week. But now seeing TNA being regularly featured weekly on the program. Yeah. And as we see in the main event tonight, and spoiler alert, now in the main event of their next or a premium live event.
Yes.
That's big. I think a lot of questions that both the TNA fans and the NXT fans may have had about, let's go back to Slammiversary, that booking again one more time. Why didn't Joe Hendry win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship? I think you got your answer tonight, J-Bone.
Yeah, there's a big picture to all this. And as much as fans like to, we jokingly say, oh, yeah, well, we're all armchair bookers. And, this is what I do and this is what I do. And you could speculate this and you could speculate that. And it's all good, like we're all fans.
Speculation station.
Yes, absolutely. This speculation proclamation or whatever.
Was that on Schoolhouse Rock?
Yes, yeah. Because I'm just a Bill.
Hey, I'm just a Bill.
You're just, I'm sorry. Yeah, wrong.
You're just a bone.
I'm just a bone.
We already got the questions.
Uh-oh.
Joe can't actually win the NXT title, right? Right?
Hot take of the night, folks. Hot take of the night. Drop it in the chat. Look, whether you like the guy, whether you love the guy, hey, maybe you're not that big a fan. Maybe you don't believe in Joe Hendry. Put it in the chat. Because who would have thought a year ago we'd be seeing TNA featured on NXT? Who'd have thought a year ago we'd see NXT featured on TNA?
Well,
we're seeing all sorts of stuff.
All you had to do was believe.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
All you had to do was clap twice and click your heels, and boom, there he appears from behind the couch doing weird and sneaky things. Oh wait, no, that was when he first showed up.
And thanks to our members from the TNI fam, any NXTers, you're welcome to join the fam as members here. Terrence Sullivan, he's giving us the lyrics from London to Paris to Tokyo, America, US, Canada, Mexico.
Yeah.
There you go. He believes. Oh, critical sting loading.
Uh-oh.
Another hot take. Josh Alexander going to screw Hendry out of the title shots in 2 companies. Could it happen? Could it happen and no mercy?
Joe Hendry getting screwed by Josh Alexander, and Josh Alexander possibly reuniting with Ethan Page.
Oh,
could it heck? I mean, you can almost feel the earth starting to shift. you can almost. It's
the tremors.
It
is.
Kevin
Bacon.
The plates are starting to. Oh my goodness. No, look, it's fun. This is the stuff we joke about that we always wanted, and now we're getting it. It's small doses here and there, but I'm not it's my dad cheering in the next room. Brewers must have done something good.
Oh, there you go. Love it. Go Pops.
I think the Brewers are beating the Cardinals.
Oh, that's a rivalry.
It is. Brewers are
Milwaukee and St. Louis, Midwest. No Midwest nice going on there.
Oh yeah. Brewers on top of the division right now. Who'da thunk?
Ooh.
Who'da thunk? You know who thunk? I thunk last year.
You thunk?
Oh yeah.
You did a lot of thunking.
I said this last year. We'll get back to NXT and TNA in a second, but let me tell you something. When they started putting this team together late last year, the second half of last year, and they started like recruiting all these new kids last year to the Milwaukee Brewers, and they ended up doing pretty good. They didn't get as far as they wanted to, obviously. But I said to my dad, I said, if they can keep this team and stay relatively healthy, I said, imagine what this team could do across an entire season. And we're seeing it right now. I called it last year.
And J-Bone, very similar to how you build a wrestling company.
Yes.
You have your building blocks, you bring in the new talent, the hungry individuals, and you could say that both about TNA and NXT.
Maybe I'll do that someday. Maybe I'll make no.
Brewers equals
someday. Well, your Phillies are hot right now, right?
Well, they were hot. They've had a little. They've come back down to earth a little bit. The pitching, some injuries, so they've slowed down a little bit. But they're still in a good spot. Honestly, it's them, the Brewers, the Dodgers, the Padres have kind of came back to life. The D-backs running blue. Because they looked like they were awful to start the year, the D-backs. A little World Series flu, we like to call it. But now they're playing great. So a lot of good. It's a very even playing field in baseball this year. You could see one of a number of teams probably take it this year.
There you go.
It's whoever's going to get hot to end the year. Who's healthy and hot. Just like wrestling. Got to stay healthy. And whoever's riding that momentum. And there's a lot of Joe-mentum tonight. And there's the graphic.
There
Look
we
at
go.
that poster.
That looks like $1 million. That looks awesome. I'm just saying. Look, I love Joe Hendry, but I also love Ethan Page. So, you know, am I expecting Joe Hendry to win? You know, if he wins, great. If not, whatever happens, I'm trusting the process. I'm sure the story is gonna unfold before our eyes, you know?
Oh.
So
now speaking of good images like this, J-Bone, I gotta say it. I don't like to toot our own horn or put ourselves over. But Justin Miller says, "Good evening, Bill and Jay's excellent adventure." Zach Bonifer, if you're in the chat, I need a Bill and Ted inspired Bill and J-Bone shirt.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It could be Bill and J-Bone's excellent NXT adventure.
Excellent Tuesdays. Oh man. Well, Courtney here says, what is this? Says breaking news, Rosemary to appear next week.
Wait. We got to be careful here, J-Bone. Got to be careful. Remove comment. Remove comment, J-Bone.
Oh, okay.
Got to be careful. They taped the second episode tonight, so we want to keep this still a spoiler-free show.
Oh, okay.
NXT filmed a second episode tonight, from what I hear. So yeah, we got to be careful. There may be other things going on, just like at TNA tapings, where other things go on. So I was not there. I am not in Florida right now, so I cannot confirm. But supposedly, I think we can expect more back and forth. We know we've heard rumors about some individuals, but we definitely got to be mindful. But I mean, stuff does slip out there. True or not, we don't know.
It's one thing to say if someone's appearing. It's another thing to say if somebody is facing someone else and winning and or losing. So if that's all we're gonna be guilty of, I'll throw up the big A, and you know.
I know nothing. Although I will check to see if anything does get announced, because sometimes they will let you know ahead of time.
Okay. Yeah, like I'm sure there's going to be a visual that they put out at some point.
Yes, I would imagine.
So, okay. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Critical state. Oh, Courtney says check the Discord. Oh boy.
The Discord's blowing up, I'm sure.
Oh boy.
And that's always the place to go. If you want to know what's going on, follow the link below, the official TNI Discord, where TNI, but obviously NXT, other wrestling promotions, all kinds of topics, non-wrestling, also much bandy-to-boo. So definitely check it out. But for a second, I was wondering what town is No Mercy in again, because I did see friend of ours I've known for a long time, Miguel, if you know, big TNA fan. Yes. He just put out there on social media that he'll be at No Mercy, but he is a Colorado guy, so it's not as crazy as a travel as normal.
Okay.
He was the Joe Hendry victory tonight got him the commit, so. I think that's the whole point of this whole crossover. Yeah. Just let us know. Once again, I know every week when we do this, we get some NXT fans in the chat. Let us know if you are, even if we've never heard from you. I'm always a big fan of someone we've never heard from just saying hi in the chat. Nothing more than that. So let us know if you're joining us, and maybe you are an NXT fan. And I know a couple of them have now joined us on Thursdays for TNA, which that's awesome. That's the goal. That's what we like to see.
Yeah. Just it's we're here for it all. You know, we're not like, oh well, if NXT fans show up on Thursdays, then you're on the wrong show. No, whatever. Wrestling is wrestling. I don't care what you're a fan of. Come on.
And there's crossover. And who
Yeah.
knows? You might see somebody you never seen before and go, "Hey, I like that person. I want to see more of them."
Right.
And who knows? Maybe at some point they'll be part of a company you watch even more of. So that's the wrestling business. The crossover is always there.
Perfect example. I'm watching NXT tonight, and that Ashante, the Adonis, was wrestling someone new that I'd never seen before. His name was Tony Lennox or Donnie Lennox or something Lennox. And he reminded me a lot of like a cross between like Shelton Benjamin and Jason Jordan.
Okay.
You know, tall, good-looking kid.
Dion Lennox.
Thank you.
Critical Sting. Just not for TNA knowledge. He's dropping us some bits here of
there we go.
NXT.
Knowledge
and speaking of
all
bits,
over the place.
if you're on Team Twitch, you're always welcome to do the bits and that kind of thing.
There you go.
But always like to see the Team Twitch in the chat too. So if you're out there. And there's another one of our guys there, Eli. Fire.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. You know, some people are like, "Oh yeah, well we only got this and we only got that." It's like they're not giving
away the store, which I know. And once again, I can't cite who, but I know Shawn Michaels gave an interview, as we like to call him, Chef Michaels.
Chef Michaels.
He was earlier this week gave an interview where he said he sees this as just the beginning of the partnership.
Oh yeah.
So like when we talk about time frames with this, it doesn't feel like it's ending anytime soon. Like not Bound for Glory, not the end of the year. This feels like this is going well in the next year.
Right. It's something that's just gonna he's gonna throw some stuff in the pot and he's just gonna let it simmer. He ain't gonna bring nothing to simmer down. Now. He's not bringing this to a boil. Now, granted, Joe Hendry for the
cooking NXT with J-Bone here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's salting it. There you go.
And a little bit of this.
Little pepper?
Would you like a pepper?
We're going through all of our SNL skits right now.
Why?
Speaking of J-Bone, off topic, because it's the TNI show. But I was at the movies the other night.
Oh, boy.
And I saw the trailer for Saturday night. I don't know if you even knew this was in development, but they're making a movie about the first year of Saturday Night Live, like it come in the air.
It's kind of like a pseudo, like almost like a documentary. Like
it's all actors, but yeah, it's
right.
But it's kind of behind the scenes. Like, can this work? But it looks excellent.
It does. I saw a teaser for it. I don't know if I saw like a full trailer, but yeah, what I saw looked pretty good. And I've certainly appreciated SNL. I know LNC.
Oh, whoa.
SNL.
Careful with those initials. We want to be monetized here.
Oh. What is he doing? He doesn't know. But yeah, Saturday Night Live. I've watched on and off for so many years. But then, as far as like highlights of like the old stuff, I absolutely appreciate that. I grew up on comedians like Bill Murray, Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner, John Belushi. I've got an old friend. His favorite movie of all time is the Blues Brothers.
Oh,
and
the Blues Brothers, J-Bo.
I'm not like I appreciate the characters. And I'm not a big musical guy, but because it is kind of a musical comedy,
Kinda,
whatever. Yeah,
there's music in there.
Yeah,
good music.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
they're on a mission, J-Bo.
They're on a mission. Flying from Milwaukee to Chi-Town, or which way, I don't know. But anyways,
there you go. Justin Grease.
Justin Miller loves the Blues Brothers. All right.
How can you not?
Let's jump into this this main event of tonight's NXT / NXTNA. The chat's going nuts now. Yeah. So this is a number 1 contendership for Ethan Page's NXT championship. So we've got Pete Dunne versus Wes Lee versus Joe Hendry. And you got number 1, you got 3 very different styles of wrestling here. And so right there, it's going to be a unique match. You're going to see a little bit of everything. And that's what we got tonight. And that's what's awesome, because you don't know who's going to, throw who off of who, and then, quick get a pin, or there's going to be, there's no DQ. Remember, this is a triple threat. Is Ethan Page going to interfere? Of course, we got a little bit of that. The ending was ridiculous, though, because I didn't even know. I didn't even see at first who did what. I had to replay it. I'm like, wait a minute. How the hell did he get the win? Who was that? And then come to see it was Trick Williams actually helped Joe Hendry.
Whoop that Trick.
I'm like, wow. So I can kind of see how this is going to, well, I'm going to get to your opinion in a second here, but I can kind of see how this is going to play out. That's a big if, but if and when Joe Hendry gets the championship, Trick Williams is going to be like, hey, remember who helped you? Give me a shot, man. I could see something like that happening. But Bill, what did you think of this main event, man?
Well, no, I did think it was like a lot of good spots. Obviously, Joe had the crowd eating out of his hand during this match. And then obviously his finish on the announce table after obviously the interference, because we saw shenanigans. Obviously, as you alluded to, a lot of the end of this match was shenanigans, overload. But still, Joe was looking strong. But then, obviously, shenanigans continue. Ref being obstructed from going back in the ring. It looked like Joe was going to wind up losing. But then, out of nowhere, Trick gets involved, takes out Dunne, and puts Joe back in the position to get the pin. Just in time for the ref to get back in there and give the old 1, a 2, a 3. And bam, no mercy. Or as Uncle Jesse would say, have mercy.
So, look, and I wouldn't be shocked if we get some kind of like grudge match at this event between Trick Williams and Pete Dunne, or maybe they just do that, the date before, the date after the pay-per-view. We'll see. I don't know how many matches they're planning on having, but we shall see. Yeah, it's Terrence here. This is interesting. See, I love our chat, man. They come up with some wild stuff.
No.
Terrence Sullivan here. says I can see Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry for NXT World Title on night 1 of CW premiere on October 1st in Chicago.
Not far from now. Right around the corner.
But then how does CM Punk get involved?
Oh, you and your CM Punk. He'll be like the old WrestleMania host gimmick. It will be because you see, like, all he does is wear suits now. He's like Mr. Phil, the suit guy, from what I see. So he can be the host of the show that night.
The host with the most. But he can do so much more.
Possibly.
I can picture him sitting next to, Booker T trying to settle him down with the Shucky Duckies,
That's true. Oh, now we're even getting Justin here. If Joe wins, I'll definitely do my best to make it to that show. So if there is a TNA roster member carrying that NXT title into that debut, the TNA faithful are going to try to show up. Maybe even Trent. The summer of Trent could end with him attending, and now it's the fall of Trent. Some might say the last couple of years have been the fall of Trent, but
I'm gonna drag Trent by his. I'm gonna drag Trent by his chinny chin chin.
Make him go to that show. But let us know in the chat.
Let's go.
Or the comments if you're catching this on the replay. And once again, we started out the show with this. What are the odds? No mercy, we get Joe Hendry NXT champion. And what are your thoughts, both from a TNA fan perspective and an NXT fan perspective?
Yeah.
Is it are you happy with that result? Do you have reservations on either side of the platform? Yeah. Honestly, I go back to what we said earlier. I think the reason he's not TNA champion is because they were going to go this route. And I think it could happen here, but I think it definitely will happen. If not here, I think he will win that title. I think that's part of what's going on here, and that's why he couldn't have both belts.
And he can bring the NXT championship back to TNA tapings.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, I would love that. That could be a part of Bound for Glory. It could be all over the place. So,
just because I did call him out earlier, and he's now in the Twitch, Zach Bonifer, who's in there with the fall of Trent's marriage. Hey, I gave a few graphic ideas earlier, Zach, featuring J-Bone and myself, with Bill and Ted inspired images, and
there you go.
Maybe even the Blues Brothers. I could see me and J-Bone as Blues Brothers.
Oh,
we're on a mission. To bring not fake wrestling news talk to the NXTNA platform, J-Bone.
There you go.
That's a mayor saying Joe Hendry loses at No Mercy and then gets revenge on Josh Alexander by beating him at BFG to win the TNA World Championship. I could see that as well. No doubt about it. But I feel like a lot of people are starting to the Josh Alexander double angle, that critical sting throughout early in the show, it feels like that's heavy right now. It's almost, could we get to an expectation where that happens at No Mercy?
Yeah.
I can't imagine they'll do that much of a paint by numbers. It seems almost too neat of a bow to tie this together.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of things that could come together related to this. We'll see. So something else that I did want to bring up and discuss with Bill tonight, and it is, so if you have not watched Xplosion from this week, TNA's Xplosion, then if you don't care about spoilers for it, fine. You want to stick around, great. If you want to watch it and not get spoiled,
although right now it's public, like, because if you have TNA Plus, the app, it comes out on Friday.
Yeah,
and now it's out to everybody via YouTube, so it's out there. It's been aired, so I wouldn't call it a spoiler. It's just it's like if you didn't see a movie of the first week, it's on you at that point.
Right.
You can't complain about a spoiler 24 years after a movie's out.
Right.
Like J-Bone, E.T., it works out in the end.
Oh, God. I just want Reese's Pieces.
There you go. If anything, you can learn about where Reese's Pieces came from.
Is that really a thing in the movie?
Well, that's the first visual of Reese's Pieces. It was created for the movie.
Wow.
Marketing, product placement. Speaking of product placement.
Oh, boy.
Let's thank our sponsor, Manscaped.
Yes.
Because when you're dealing with all this, where you could be in the weeds of all this wrestling, you don't want to be in the weeds of hair on your body, J-Bone. And you got to get rid of those weeds. And the only thing you can do is use Manscaped.
Yes.
With promo code TNI for 20% off and free shipping. What a deal.
Absolutely. 20%
Speaking
off.
of Xplosion. It's like taking a machete to those weeds and you're clear.
It'll help numerous places.
And it has a light.
The bodily landscape. Yes, it does. Yes. There's more new stuff coming out all the time for Manscaped, so go check it out.
There you go.
Vice president of the Peanut Club, yes.
It's like the old hair club for men. And I'm a client.
Not just the president. Also a client. That's right. I did some heavy-duty manscaping the other day, let me tell you.
Heavy duty. There you go.
Heavy duty. It's
so smooth, J-Bone.
Yes.
As the late great Stuart Scott would say, that was smoother than the other side of the pillow.
I thought it was cooler than the other side of the pillow.
I'm saying smoother now.
Oh, okay.
It's close enough. But it's cool that it's so smooth.
Yes. Zach, I don't know what you're talking about. I promote stuff from the neck up. That's it. You want anything else, you're on your own.
But that's why you can scape whatever you want to scape.
That's right. That's right.
It's your world.
Peanut Club.
Shout out to the scumbag.
Yes. Shout out to this. Yes, absolutely. All right. But yeah. Code TNI, 20% off and free shipping. Best deal going today.
An explosion of a deal.
Speaking of explosion, Bill.
Hey now.
Let's talk some explosion from this week. And I figured we'd throw it in here. It's instead of just making the show about a match, I figured this would be a good place to talk about Xplosion because it is a shorter show and there's some good talent down there too also. So that's fun to talk about. We got a couple new matches here.
So let us know what you think about the new Xplosion. Pretty much 2-match Xplosion we've been getting pretty regularly. There was a few exceptions, but they're pretty much going to this 2-match format, which I know I see names in the chat. I won't name them, but I know I've been asking for this in the Discord. Once again, link below. That they've been wanting to see more out of Xplosion with 2 matches. So let us know what you're thinking about the current setup of the show. And if you're watching, or if you're not watching, why aren't you watching? Because like I said, with TNA Plus, you do get it early. But even with YouTube, anyone can watch it for free.
There you go.
By the time we talk about it on Tuesday.
Yeah. All right. So we start out here with Zaya Brookside versus. No, I want to make sure I get the name right here. Give me 2 seconds.
You can do it, J-Bone. Mila Moore.
Mila Moore. Okay. I'm pretty sure. I was pretty sure that's what it was. I didn't want to screw it up. Oh, it's already in the TNA news on the TNAWrestling.com. Joe Hendry to challenge NXT champion Ethan Page at No Mercy.
You love to see it.
Yes. Okay. Xplosion report for August 16th. All right. So, Mila Moore versus Zaya Brookside. What'd you think of this knockouts match?
I liked it. And especially for Xplosion, I think they do a good job. Like, they're not squash matches. They give them some air, some room to breathe. And this isn't the first time we've seen Mila Moore. She showed up before on TNA Impact, I believe, for Xplosion as well. Or it actually may have been, I'd have to check. It may have been a Masha or somebody else. It may have been more of a squash type match previously.
Okay.
But definitely gave her more to show. So it's probably someone that they're looking at that was probably in the area to utilize. But I thought this was good to see more because I think obviously we saw multiple matches from Zaya that obviously led to obviously a lot of the what we saw from Ash by Elegance. Like that was kind of her feud with her, kind of was the catapult off of there. And obviously lately we've been seeing more of her character work in the PCO Steph DeLander angle as kind of the BFF of Steph. So good to see her back in the ring, kind of getting back into that knockouts division and where she'll fit in there. Because I know, hey, we don't shy from the hot topics in TNA here.
Right.
And I know I haven't been around the Discord as much lately, but I'm still popping in there. And I know one of the hot topics in there is the knockouts division. And either what's the strengths and weaknesses of the division right now? Yeah. Because I think it's fair to say there are both very good strengths. Jordan Grace, maybe the most talented female wrestler in the world right now. Obviously, if you're watching through either TNA or the NXT partnership, I think many would admit that. But as you go down, because of all the focus near the top of the division, I think there has been probably some oversight of the rest of the division. You have the knockouts tag division. So as we go through this, it's like, who are these contenders coming up who in both tag and singles action? Where, do we need to add some more knockouts? Is there enough? Then you got to go into the time of the show and all of that. But let us know what you think about the division. I know Gail Kim's been on the interview circuit lately, and she's been kind of talking about looking out for people and stuff like that. Although we also got to admit, there's been, look at NXT and all the talent they're kind of bringing in that we're starting to see. And obviously, there's other companies out there that have just been mad signing female wrestlers for the last couple of years. So the talent pool, there's still plenty of talent out there, but a lot of them, they're getting snapped up. Even members of our roster that we just don't see anymore. And just for instance, I believe Mila Moore is in a tag match. I think it's her. I wasn't sure if it was her or another one. Is in an indie show coming up featuring Hardcore Country, Mickey James.
Oh, nice.
Which I don't know if she just wanted to kind of have a very limited schedule right now, but it's almost shocking. Like Mickey James hasn't really shown up anywhere. And
no,
like Mickey James, come back. Like that would be a huge return get without her being somewhere else. Like if you're looking for like star power in that division, but definitely I think a couple more, like one or it depends. Like if you can get, I think what people are longing for is you need one. I think you need one other very strong main event level knockout, like another one you could put in, like no question. Like I just said, Mickey as an example, but like somebody of that ilk, and then maybe another Zaya type, like another up and comer, to kind of really get that division locked down. I think that the problem is that division's been so strong for so long over the years. Anytime you're a couple short, just like we've seen it with the tag division or X division at times, it's like, oh man, what's happened to the division? I think that's probably going overboard. But because just by inserting one or two people, you're right back to where you were again. And I think that's probably at the state it is right now. So they probably do, but like I said, one of those names, and I don't know if it's internal, it probably needs to be outside. You need one more like kind of high level, can always be kind of hovering around the main event picture. Now, I think part of the return of Rosemary to that picture is part of, like, I think that helps that.
Absolutely.
But I think they probably still need at least one more.
Well, now, what about, we're down a few names.
Yeah, like as Critical Sting, like losing Mickey, Deanna, and Trinity, all pretty close together, will have that effect.
Yeah, and Taya was not too long before that.
And I think a lot of us, we remember that the heights of Taya, but they didn't use her, like, they didn't fully invest in Taya that last go around, in my opinion. Compared to now, that was, I don't think they just kind of said, okay, we'll throw you back with Rosemary / like, she didn't have her singles run like she had. Remember, there was a time where she was the longest knockout champion. Like it was, she was up there. Like she was in the upper levels. But they just didn't commit to her on that run. But those ones like Mickey and Deanna and Trinity, they were all top of the card. They were main eventing shows.
Yeah.
All three of them. So that is a loss. Because right now, you can main event Jordan every day of the week. But beyond that, it's tough. And obviously, the awards last year, where like we forget, Kylan King was the one to watch.
Yeah. And then she got injured. Yeah. I'm hoping by the end of the year she comes back.
And Gail was hinting at that. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Not a guarantee, but the goal. So maybe Bound for Glory or tapings. Like if that can happen, that'd be great.
Who was with who was with Masha in that tag team?
You talking Lish? Or are you talking
No. I'm before Lish.
Oh, Killer Kelly.
Killer Kelly, thank you. That's another one that should come back.
Yes.
Eventually. Because she was just out shooting a movie, right? She wasn't injured.
Yeah. No, I believe she's available. Like
they probably just want to time it right, but we get a few names back, and that division is going to be white hot again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I liked Zaya Brookside is such a she's so young, she's fresh, she's fun to watch. Mila Moore, watching her here, she kind of reminded me of a young Britt Baker, just like her style of wrestling and her charisma level. Like, so I think like she's got a ways to go, but she's got a good base of talent,
Mm-hmm.
So, but this first match was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was a good match, no doubt.
Yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Mila Moore gets signed somewhere sooner rather than later. Good talent to develop. And then the main event of Xplosion. Well, first I do want to bring up the what was that? Gia Miller's little interview.
Wait. Are you saying her interview? One word, J Bone, for her interview.
It's been a bangorama.
She dragged her man.
Who? What's your name?
Ace Austin.
Austin? Austin Ace?
She's like, oh yeah. It was so cute. I mean, we've been big fans of them. Like it's like if you didn't know,
friends of the show,
friends of the show, yeah. We've talked to them. They are wonderful to talk to, and just watching them on here was you can't help but go, oh.
Two favorites for sure.
Absolutely, we love them, and but I just want to quick say congrats on being together for 5 years. That's awesome. That's awesome.
5 years.
Yes, scoops. Yes, yeah, we love them. But yeah, if you missed that part of the show, make sure it's short but sweet. But go check it out. It's fun.
Yeah, and that's a weekly segment. Gia Miller around the ring. Oh, David Penzer's old gig. Don't know if David Penzer might be. Sometimes he frequents the chat a little late. You never know if you could be poolside with Penzer.
You never know.
But I don't know if he's been catching any of them. But obviously he's the guy that was doing them. So he may have some insight. I know Josh Matthews, I guess, did them at one point. I think Tom Hannafin may have had a brief spot doing them as well. So, but now it's Gia. A lot of this is the Gia show. So if you're a fan of Gia and you're not watching Xplosion, you're missing out because you got Gia on color commentary.
Yes,
you got Gia around the ring. You just get some extra Gia backstage segments, and it'd be the total Gia show.
Oh, and the first few minutes of the Zaya Brookside match, oh my goodness. Gia Miller was all kinds of fired up for this match. Tom Hannafin was like, you know what? You got this. I'll let you take this one. She was like, you're supposed to be, unbiased, No way, not this time. But yeah, a lot of fun. Listening to her on commentary with Tom Hannafin. I think they're good.
I like it. It's they
got
some good chemistry. I think Gia gets better every time. So no, definitely well worth a watch. Watch.
Good level of. She's got a great level of charisma, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
because obviously she's also she's trained as a wrestler. She valets on the indies a lot for Ace. So I think she has that, and you see her as the interviewer, but then obviously as an announcer too. So she's doing everything. And we know recently re-signed long term Gia Miller. Big.
Gia Borash.
Well, with all the hats she's wearing, the different things, Borash could be thrown into anything almost.
Right.
So not wrong, Stink.
Right. All right, then
how we forget the early Ace Austin days.
Oh, yes.
They'll always be legendary.
the Triple X division.
The Triple X division.
Yeah, I think you got one of those shirts, didn't you?
Oh, I do.
Yeah,
I do. I have more than one, J-Bone.
Oh.
I got his. I got the black shirt, the Austin the Austin number shirt.
Okay.
But then I also got the even more divisive shirt in purple that was very brief. Not many people have that shirt. That one went a little more non-family friendly.
Okay. Yeah, mine's just plain the purple with the ace on the front. And that was...
I go back to the days in Vegas where they did that angle right practically on me, where the fan in the crowd from the business.
Yeah.
Oh, what good times. What good times.
Right. I got mine when
If
Ace
you
he won his first X Division championship at Bound for Glory back in 2019, I want to say.
Chicago.
Yes.
Chicago.
The Odeon.
The Odeon. R.I.P. Odeon.
R.I.P. Yes. All right. Main event time. Joe Hendry versus Wesley versus
what?
Oh, sorry. I went backwards. My bad.
You went backwards. That was
wrong show. Sorry. Distracted by cats and other nature, whatever things.
We got a world-class maniac in the main event.
Yes. All right. EY versus Eric Young versus KC Navarro. Yeah, sorry, Zach, wrong show.
Does it look like I give a damn?
I'm just a bone. Yeah, so you've got like this generation of cats just tearing shit up next to me here. My goodness.
Tearing it up.
He's tearing it up. Ozzy. So you got like this generation X Division, not in the X Division. Hopefully will be soon. I'm just saying.
Maybe.
But this generation X Division style wrestler versus X Division from 20 years ago, but still going.
Shit.
EY, Eric Young.
Yeah, let us know, because as Jay and I were talking before the show, and we've been talking about KC Navarro for a bit here, because I had obviously a lot of experience seeing KC on the indies over the years, and then he was in MLW, but kind of had an idea he'd be showing up. And I do think, obviously, we've seen him now twice. He worked both days. So that's usually a very good sign that the company's liking what they see. They did the same thing, obviously, with who we saw last week, the big Australian Zion. So I think both of these, KC Navarro and Zion, they've been given looks to. They seem to like. So it wouldn't surprise me if we maybe see some of these individuals again in the near future. And let us know what you think about that. Do you want to see more KC? Because this was a hell of a main event, J-Bone.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. This was, I mean, at first it's, you got the, I'll call him the snot-nosed kid, running circles around EY, and then EY smartens up a little bit, like, oh, okay, I need to pay attention to what this kid's doing. Starts giving him a taste of his own medicine, smacking him around, walking over him, and then it turns into a really good back and forth match. And man, I just, I've said it every time I've seen him on the show. Now, granted, Eric Young gets the win here, but KC Navarro, man, this company needs to sign this kid. They really do. He's got so much charisma, and he's so fluid in the ring.
He is. Like, he's definitely very talented, no doubt. definitely has some. He has something. He has an it factor that I think they definitely could utilize going forward. So it does seem like we're probably going to get him. I think we're going to get him. I think he's going to get signed. I do think if I had to predict it, my thought is he will be signed. And I think that'd be a great addition. Like we talked about for the knockouts, I think you could look at that with the X division as well. Get another one or two people. So yeah, get on there. Like, yeah, he's pushing it on social media. Same thing. Interact with Casey. Like, try to get it done. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Now here's a good Michael, we'll get to your question here in a second, yes. But Critical Sting's got an interesting one here. And you watch more MLW than I do, so I'm gonna hand this one to you.
Yeah, did Navarro do much in MLW? I remember him and Danny Limelight got signed after a Battle Riot, but weren't doing much afterwards. Critical Sting, I'll say he had a little bit of a push after that, where he was being featured in some matches and stuff. But then, yeah, it seemed, and to be fair to MLW, that's kind of, they have a tendency to do this, like where they'll use you for like a taping loop, like, but they don't do a loop because they do one-offs. So like we'll call it a cycle. Like they'll use you in a cycle because that's how they book guys kind of for like 3 shows a lot of the time, and then they kind of maybe come back, maybe never get seen from again, or show up a year later like they never left. Like it's kind of all over the place. And I feel that's the way they kind of treated a couple of the people they brought in. Like if they couldn't get them instant over, but you got to remember they were doing some storylines that featured a large part of their regular roster. And if you weren't part of that, it was tough to make inroads. And that's still like a lot of the way. Like if you're not part of a few main, and you can say that for any wrestling company, if you're not parts of these few major angles, you really got to stand out. Yeah. And it just didn't have the opportunity there. So it probably on both sides wasn't going to work out there unless they were willing to commit to him long term for him to really show something. Now, obviously, we've had these glimpses now in TNA. Did they get enough out of those to say, hey, we really want to commit to you in a way like they have some others? Unknown. But I think it's looking positive. And I think he's still at that point in his career where you can commit a long term to him still.
He's only 25?
Yeah, I think he's in mid-20s. I'm not sure exactly what he is now, but he started young. So I think obviously he's got still a long future ahead of him. But now we'll circle back because, like I said, I always like hearing from some of the new people that we don't really see in the chat, some maybe the NXT viewers. And we got Michael Burmy in the chat here. Yeah. Is Trick ever getting a one-on-one rematch? I'll let you, since I focus on the last question, J-Bone, take that first. Your thoughts on that? Because obviously we saw Trick have a major influence in this main event.
This is true. Yeah. And he lost his championship to Ethan. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's right. I don't think Trick did get a rematch.
No, it was like a multi-man match, I believe, his only chance to reclaim it. He never got that 1v1.
Okay.
Which is used to be a standard in wrestling. You would always get that one-on-one rematch in some capacity. But now it seems like that doesn't happen a lot. It feels like there's a lot of times where you never get that official rematch.
Guaranteed.
They just go on to another storyline real quick. It's like you forget it ever happened. So I guess if he well, go ahead, J-Bone.
I was going to say, I'll kind of repeat what I did earlier when we were talking about it. Seeing as he helped Joe Hendry win and stopped Ethan Page from interfering another time, I'd say if Joe Hendry wins at No Mercy, then what you would see first is Trick Williams getting a shot because he helped him. I think Joe Hendry, and you see that a lot, not all the time, but if someone's talking about, oh yeah, so you're going for the championship. Well, look me up. If you get the championship, I want a shot first. How many times we've seen that, and I think this could be one of those opportunities. But there's there's a lot of ifs in
the so let's go with another if. Take this and reverse it, J-Bone. Let's say the Believers have a bad night and Joe does not come out on top. Do you think that 1v1 match still could be on the table in the near future? Or do you assume if Ethan Page retains, you don't get that rematch?
Yeah, there could be.
Think there could be? You think that could result in still getting it?
Somehow, some way, I think so, yeah.
By Halloween Havoc?
Yeah, within the next couple months. I feel like that's got to be, if they're gonna do that, that's something like they gotta prey on pretty quick.
Okay, all right, I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Zach here, letting us know exactly as Casey Navarro's birthday, July 21st, very close to mine. We're a few years apart, but pretty close. That whippersnapper. Dr. Gerbs, good to see you.
Doc's in the house.
Good Doc.
Anything else you want to cover?
I think we got pretty much most of the, obviously, what we wanted to discuss with the NXTNA relationship tonight.
Yeah.
We now know, obviously, Joe will be main eventing with Ethan Page and No Mercy. So very cool. I see a lot of, like I said, DNA diehards. They were paying attention. They're all paying attention tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels like if you're an NXT or a TNA fan, you really got to check out this Thursday on Access TV or TNA Plus and see what I'm sure this will be referenced. So we'll see what happens there. And then obviously next Tuesday. But feels like a lot of this is going around. And, you know what? We can go in the mirror here. Wes attacked by Wentz because Zach Wentz did show up.
Yeah,
it was quick. It was quick.
Yeah, because NXT's always go like over. About,
it was in the overrun.
Yeah. So, if you blinked, you missed it. It was within the last 10 seconds of the show.
Yeah, I more knew it by. I've seen him do that knee lift so many times, but you could barely make out it was him from the angle almost.
Oh, yeah. Until you saw them far off in the ring. Yeah.
Yes. But when it first happened, it's like, oh, I know that knee lift.
Who's that? Who is that kid with the neon blue hair? But yeah. So yeah, Wentz attacks Wes Lee. And they're scrapping and fighting, and then security comes in, and Zach Wentz is he's just hot. He's hot.
He's hot, hotter than a collar.
Let me tell you, the crowd when the show went off the air, that crowd was as hot as when Joe Hendry won, if not more. They are very excited to see Zach Wentz show up.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
So that's either going to be a TV match coming up in the next couple weeks, depending on how they want to play it, or if they think it's big enough,
it's got to be. That's got to be No Mercy.
They'll throw it on No Mercy, and these two are just going to tear the house down. Could be match of the night. It's going to be very emotional, a lot of energy. Some may even say hard to watch.
Ooh. Ooh.
I love them both. I can't bear them.
Here, I see Justin mentioning this, and I actually responded to Eli on this. Eli noticed this earlier, but tickets for Victory Road are being sold on both Ticketmaster and the original site eTix. Has this happened before? I did take a look at that after I saw that. And from what I see, once again, is it looks like all the tickets on Ticketmaster are resale tickets, meaning people have purchased tickets from like eTix, and now they're looking to sell them on a marketplace. Now, Ticketmaster, I don't think eTix has like a ticket marketplace, but Ticketmaster has a ticket exchange for any event. So I believe the only reason they're showing up on Ticketmaster is because people are choosing them, like a StubHub, a SeatGeek, to sell their tickets. Because, like I said, there isn't another place to sell them through eTix. So I believe that's the only reason they're showing up on Ticketmaster. Like through almost a little thing that could be it's a caveat to it, where it does give the impression that they're being sold through there, but there's no first party tickets from what I saw. It looked like all resales. So, but yeah, I haven't noticed that. I'm trying to think if there's been a time where TNA, like in this regime, has sold tickets through multiple ticket agencies. I do not believe so. So if that is the case, it is something to keep an eye on. But I think that is the case in this instance.
Yeah.
But
Zach Bonifer here says, don't forget about those other guys tomorrow. Yes, please tune in to TNI UK. I did say something earlier here because he's sassy.
Sassy.
He's always sassy. Here, Mayor says J-Bone giving TNI UK a reason not to talk about what happened on Xplosion tomorrow. No, please. I want to hear what they think, and I think you want to hear what they think too. Because they may have a completely different take on it than we do, you know?
Yeah. And honestly, if we didn't do it tonight, it would be very limited what we would talk about on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Because if anyone knows the TNI review show on Thursdays, it's a Herculean effort to just get it as tight as we get it. And it ain't that tight, if you know what I mean.
Right. And I didn't want to just come in here and talk about one match from NXT tonight. I wanted to at least broaden it a little bit. So
yeah, like the old days. If you're if you're an old school TNI fan, there was secondary shows, and one of them for a while we did cover Xplosion.
Yeah.
Slash BTI. So definitely so we're always looking at these other scenarios as we do this, because obviously we had throwback shows, we had the family dinner show where pretty much a Q&A, which is kind of, I think, always as we do our live broadcasts, it's always a Q&A show. Some of them, depending on how busy the show was, how much news is out there, it may limit our ability to do Q&As as we go on. But we do try to hit most comments as at least as many as we possibly can during the show.
Yeah, I was quickly looking. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is just a real quick. Here, I'll share.
You share a screen of Rooney.
Do a share screen of Rooney with you guys. I was trying to remember the old logo.
The old logo.
Oh, this goes back.
He's bringing it back. Bring it back.
I'm gonna have to come up with a new one. Come on, computer, work with me here. But yeah, while I'm trying to bring this up, why don't you folks check out the God, this computer. Oh, jeez Louise. Here we go.
Jiminy Christmas.
Molasses. Sucky ducky. Here we go.
Oh, there it is.
There's a classic.
That's it. That was the show.
TNI Impact Plus Weekly. There we go. And that was designed.
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. That was designed by one of our partners back in the day. But yeah. So yeah, maybe I'll come up
still
with
in the archives on the YouTube.
Yeah, the old shows are still there. So if you want
to just randomly check out a TNI Impact Plus Weekly, go for it. You'll have a good time.
They should be in their own they should be in their own library, their own
and then Justin
playlist,
which then led to the family dinner. He knows the history. He's got us on the timeline. He's like, it went from this to this.
Yeah.
And the family dinner, that was the full-time Q&A show.
And that was
and let's not even get into After Dark.
Oh gosh. Yeah, that went more into like the Patreon territory back in the day, yeah. But yeah, so right now all we got is the membership. So if you want to,
no paywall here, J-Bone.
Yeah. If you want to help support the show, there's always joining the membership. There's different tiers. Twitch, there's subscriptions. I know they just changed that format a little bit, but it's still there. But most importantly, we always love that you smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications, so let you know when more of our content hits your screen. All right, so yes, please tune in tomorrow for Team TNI UK from across the pond, and we'll be back Thursday night for the live reaction and the review following TNA Impact. So take care, folks. Enjoy your week. We'll see you in a few. Good night.